Hey guys, today I thought it would be fun to do a bunch of thrift flips inspired by TikTok. I've been seeing a lot of like thrifting TikToks and like thrift flip TikToks, so I've been getting like a lot of inspiration to make things, and what actually sparked this idea was this one TikTok that I watched where this girl turned a pair of leggings into a shirt, and I was just like, oh my god, because if you don't remember from one of my past mystery thrift hauls, I found this pair of leggings that had like a huge hole in the middle, and I was like, I know I want to make something out of this, but I have no idea like what I'm gonna do with it. So I thought that would be the perfect thrift flip. So here are the leggings right here. They're Lululemon, super nice, but as you can probably already notice, there is a huge hole in the crotch area, which is perfect because for this thrift flip we're already halfway there. The only problem is there are like a couple extra holes, and the hole isn't obviously cut like perfectly because it wasn't meant to be a shirt. First thing we're gonna do is try it on and see what we're working with to make this a shirt. Okay guys, so this is what it looks like already on, and like, I mean, not looking too bad. Kind of small for me because these are like an extra small, so it's a little tight around my waist, but I mean, look at that. That's actually like a pretty cute long sleeve shirt already. I actually don't mind the way it's cut. Unfortunately, this is the back side because the other side's a little too revealing, so I don't think it'll really work that well as the front. I'll show you the back real quick. So yeah, it's like definitely a lot deeper of a plunge, but generally I'm kind of liking the hole that's already been here. I think what I'm gonna do is fix up these holes so that they actually look intentional. So this one's like a little bit uneven, so I'm gonna kind of just like cut here a bit, and then at the back, same thing, cut off this area, I guess. And I think I'm gonna do like a bit of a scoop down the back. So I just kind of drew like slightly where I need to cut it on this side to make them even. And then for the back, since I can't really reach that right now, I think I'm just gonna start cutting and see what happens. Okay, so I just got my fabric scissors here and I'm just gonna go for it. I swear my chalk lines just completely disappeared. I think I need to cut more on this side. Okay, so that's definitely better, I would say. It's a little more even on both sides, and we cut out that like extra hole that was there. Oh, I just found my chalk line. Okay, we're gonna cut out a little more. Okay, I see now. Okay, so I think we're looking pretty good. I mean, I could stop there and go for a little more raggedy kind of look, but I think I want this to actually look like a shirt and not just like you put leggings on as a shirt, you know what I'm saying? So I think what I'm going to do is kind of hem those edges and just like bring them in so that you don't see all those raw edges. Because this fabric needs to be stretched out so much, don't really know what kind of stitch I should use, so I'm just gonna look that up real quick. It seems like the best way to go is with a zigzag stitch, super narrow zigzag stitch, which totally makes sense because you need the zigzags to like separate in order to stretch out. So I guess I'll try that. I'm basically just like taking the fabric, folding it inward a bit so that it's gonna be a nice clean edge there. Okay, so I just finished that quick hem. Not gonna lie, it's not the best hem I've ever done. I mean, it definitely looks a lot better than before with just like all the raw edges, so that's what it looks like. It still feels pretty stretchy, which is good. Let's try it on and see how it looks. This is how it looks, honestly, considering I just kind of like cut pretty freehand. I think it looks pretty good, like pretty even on both sides. You know, you can see now we have like a nice clean edge, so it looks a little more like it's meant to be a shirt. Super like scoop neck, back is super low too. Probably like the quickest thrift flip I've ever done. So it was super easy, and I think like it turned out pretty good considering these used to be leggings. Okay, so the next thrift flip that I've been seeing on TikTok a bunch are these sort of like patchwork sweatpants, and I think they're super cool. I've done patchwork before, it's really fun, and they always look really good. So I have this pair of old Root sweatpants. They had a bunch of holes in them. If you watched my patchwork video, you would know that I actually turned these into a bucket hat, but I still have a bunch of this fabric left. And then I also got this second pair of Root sweatpants, which also have a bunch of holes in them, like right there, kind of up high in like hard places to work around. So I thought it'd be really cool if I took both of these and put them together, combine them to turn them into a really cool pair of patchwork sweatpants. Conveniently, they're both a size extra small, which is going to work perfectly. But first, I need to plan out exactly where I want certain pieces to go. I think I have my design figured out. There are some holes on the back, so I think I'm gonna put this like a back panel on the back here, and there's another hole here, so I'm just gonna patch it up with this piece. And then on the front, I'm just gonna keep it simple where the bottom leg and then the upper part of this leg are gonna be patchwork. We've got our first leg pinned on, so I'm just gonna go ahead and sew it together with just like a regular normal straight stitch, just like that. I just attached the first leg and it already looks really cool. I'm really happy with where this is going. I'm basically gonna just do the same thing for all the other pieces. Okay, so they're coming together really good. I don't want to show them yet, but now I have to do the patchwork on the back. I don't know if you can see, but there's kind of like a bunch of holes in the back, like on the butt, and then a really big hole right here, so... Okay, so slight change of plans. I think I'm actually gonna turn this into a pocket because I think that'd be cool to have it like functional. So all I'm gonna do is just first stitch this just on its own so that we can hem that, and then we're gonna stitch the pocket actually on. So this is how the pants ended up turning out. And you know, they're not as complex as some of the ones that were in the videos, but I kind of like that. I kind of like how kind of simple they are. And yeah, honestly, they're super easy to make, and I'm glad that I was able to salvage both of those pairs of pants and turn them into something new. Okay, so for this next one, I've taken inspiration from like a few different TikToks. The first one is where they're kind of turning a cardigan into like a more fitted short sleeve Brandy Melville style top. And the second one's pretty similar, except they added a little bit of like lettuce hem details on all the hems. I'm gonna do kind of a combination of the two. I have this blue cardigan. It's super long. I thought it could use a little makeover. So this is what we're gonna use to create our little shirt. I'm just gonna try it on first just so you guys can see what it looks like right now. You can see just how long it is. So we're gonna probably crop it probably just right below this first button here. I think that would be kind of the perfect fit. We're also going to be chopping the sleeves off to turn it into a short sleeve top. And then the last thing is, because the first button starts all the way down here, we're probably gonna have to move the buttons up in order for this shirt to like close properly. Probably like there, I think, would be the best spot to like stop it. So that's gonna be interesting. I've never made like new buttonholes before, so first things first, I think I'm gonna just start chopping away. Already it's looking way cuter. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start adding the lettuce trim and hemming all the edges. So I've just got it inside out here. I'm just gonna fold the sleeve inward a little bit, about maybe a centimeter, and I'm going to be sewing a zigzag stitch to create this hem. And in order for it to do the lettuce hem effect, while you're sewing, you're going to want to stretch out your fabric as much as you can. That way when you finish, it's all going to like bunch up together. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We've got the two lettuce hem edges on the sleeves. It's starting to look real cute. So we're just gonna do the same thing to the bottom hem. It is really starting to come along here, looking super, super cute. We got all the lettuce hems done. So now we're gonna have to work on the buttons. Firstly, I'm just going to go ahead and draw out little lines where I want to make each of the new buttonholes. Okay, so I've got all my spots marked out where I want the buttonholes to go. So now we're ready to make them, but I've never made one before. I can see like on my sewing machine, it looks like they have like the right setting. So I'm just gonna do a little test on this scrap piece and see what happens when I like turn it to that setting. I have no idea. Interesting. Okay, so I think I have it figured out, so I'm gonna give it a go. Basically, I'm just following the steps here, and I'm switching between these different buttonhole ones in order to do the correct movement. I don't really know how to explain it. And right now I have my width set to 6 and my length set to 2, and I think that's the best option for this, so just gonna go for it. Okay, so I've just set it to number 1, and it's starting with the bottom of the buttonhole, which if you never like thought about it before, you're basically just making a little rectangle to hold the button, right? So now we're going to change it over to step number 2. This is going to do the left side of that rectangle. So now that that's done, we're going to go back to this one where it says number 3, and it's going to do the top of the rectangle. Now lastly, we're switching to 4, and that's going to complete the rectangle. It's going to do the right side of it. Okay, so it may be a little bit hard to see, but I have my first buttonhole there, and it looks pretty good. I don't know how well it's going to hold the button, but I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and create the rest of them, and then after we'll cut the actual holes out. Now I have all of the outlines for the buttonholes, so I actually have to create the holes. So I think the best way to do this is going to be with my seam ripper. I'm just going to start by making a tiny hole and then kind of cut out the rest. But you obviously want to be really careful that you're not actually cutting the outline that you just created. So okay, so I just created my first hole right there. I'm just going to take one of the buttons and make sure it fits. And yeah, it seems to fit perfectly. You don't want it to be too big because then the buttons will start to fall out, but that looks pretty good to me, I think. So I'm just going to continue and start cutting out the rest. Last step for these buttons is obviously I have to actually add the buttons. So I have got my buttons here. I'm just going to cut those ones off so that I can transfer them onto this shirt. Okay, so I've got my buttons here, so all I have to do now is just sew them on. I've just got a needle and some thread, and I'm just going to hand sew them. There's not much method to this, but basically just placing my button down, and I'm just going to go in and out of each of the holes until the button is pretty much completely attached. This is how it turned out, but I think it looks so cute. Got the lettuce edge, you got the buttons, and I actually love this. It is so cute and such a glow up from the original grandma-esque cardigan. So guys, that is all of the TikTok thrift flips that I'm doing for today. I have to say TikTok has really been coming through with some creative upcycling ideas. I think a few of them are going to be available on my Depop if you want to check that out. And let me know if you enjoyed this video, if I should do another one in the future. Link any TikToks that you see that you would want me to recreate, and maybe I'll do a sequel to this video. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.